hopefully you're fastening your seatbelts for the next 2 hours.
Right.
That's nonsense, Clint. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry.
I don't care what you buy.
That's nonsense.
My feeling.
You're not just buying a racetrack. You're buying a piece of American racing history right there. I mean, that's huge. The history behind the track, just mind-boggling.
You hear a lot of rumors in the rumor mill. I'll just keep tuning in to you guys to hear the truth when it comes down to it. So
don't do that. I've already had one dose of tin hat syndrome today. I don't need a second one.
Stuart Friesen said to Brett, he says, "Why don't you bring us to more places like this?" And Brett goes, "There isn't any other place like this."
Race fans, it's time to throw it up on the cushion and get dirty. Coming to you live from the Finger Lakes and Southern Tier, it's time for Turn 5 Live. Now, your hosts of Turn 5 Live, Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, and Brad Ovens.
Yes. Welcome aboard. This week's episode of Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Clint Miller, I'm telling you, man, I can't listen to that intro enough, man. It gets me fired up. Pulling the belts tight, making sure the wheels on straight, man. We're ready to go.
You got it. We got an action-packed show tonight for everybody, and we're just going to bring the house down.
Yeah, man. I don't think action-packed is even the way to describe it, man. We are loaded up tonight. Lots of interviews, lots of discussion, and hopefully if you've been a listener of the show here for a while, you've come to expect nothing less than that. We're going to be bringing Tom Baker from Race Chaser Online here on the program here shortly. We got a whole host of topics to discuss with Tom. He'll be sliding in here momentarily, him and the managing editor for Race Chaser Online, of course, Tom Baker, the owner and senior editor, and his managing editor, Jacob Seelman, who we have on the show quite frequently. Those guys are out at the NASCAR Media Tour, and so they should be sliding in here momentarily to join us to talk about the Chili Bowl. And boy, Clint, before we even get into our dirt topics, we were talking about Tom and Jacob being out at the NASCAR Media Tour. Boy, was that a dumpster fire today.
Well, if they're out there, they're either sleeping or begging to leave. Because that has just been nothing but disaster after disaster coming out of there as far as I'm concerned. The only good thing I read coming out of there is there's going to be 4 races in the Xfinity Series that are going to actually have heat races.
Yeah, I read that, and boy, I know some of the dirt fans really like that idea, and they really love it at Eldora with the truck race on dirt. But I don't know, Clint, for an asphalt race, I don't know if it does it for me.
Well, I think it's kind of, I think everybody's kind of wanted it to happen. A lot of the drivers, a lot of the fans, they're trying, hey, we can do this in a one-day show, make it like the Saturday night short track, your local track. So I think this is just a 4-race test, and we'll see how it goes. I kind of like the idea. I never liked the idea of the knockout qualifying, and I just it's going to strap some teams because that there's going to be some accidents at times. So that'll be something that comes up that'll be a big question.
No doubt. So we'll be talking to Tom about the Chili Bowl. We're also going to be talking to him about some news that broke today, and actually some folks probably caught it late last night. Billy Decker going to be teaming up with Mike Payne Racing in 2016. They'll be for both the Super Dirt Car Series in 2016 and the home track that those guys will race for home track points yet to be determined. I know there's a lot of speculation out about what that home track will be. So we'll get Tom's thoughts here about that as well. You also had some news, and I wanted to mention this early tonight, Clint. Want to send our thoughts and prayers out to the family of Rocky Warner and Rocky the Flying Squirrel. He went to the hospital this morning with some chest pains. They found that he had an aortic aneurysm, had to have emergency surgery today, and he will be recovering from that. They actually just posted here within the hour that Rocky made it through the surgery as well as could be expected. However, the next 12 to 48 hours are crucial in his recovery. So I want to send some positive thoughts, well wishes, and prayers out to the Flying Squirrel, his team, his family. That is a dominant sportsman competitor in our area, but certainly his health comes number one right now. Unfortunate to hear that news today, but we know the character and the strength behind that young man. So hoping to see Rocky back out on the track real soon. Tom Baker joins us, owner and senior editor for RaceChaserOnline.com. And Tom, we were just mentioning the news that broke today. Billy Decker teaming up with Mike Payne Racing in 2016 for the Super Dirt Car Series, a home track yet to be determined. But now all of the major players that were without a ride here a month or 2 months ago have now all landed, which really didn't come to a shock to any of us.
Well, that's big news, honestly, and I had no inkling that was coming for Billy, but I'm glad that he found a good home, and it basically seems like he's in a similar situation as he's been in the past, just a different team, pretty much.
Yeah, he'll be with Bicknell Chassis, Bicknell Racing Products. Of course, has been a partner there with Mike Payne for quite some time. They also announced Integra Racing Shocks will be on board, which is has been with Billy for a good number of years. But now here's the interesting part, Tom, to me anyway, is not only did Bicknell get a big pickup in Matt Shepard coming back under the Bicknell roof. Now they've got Billy Decker, who will continue to be under the Bicknell roof, but with Mike Payne, and potentially, their home track, in my opinion, is going to come down to maybe two places or two areas. One, is it going to be close to the car owner, or is it going to be close to where Billy lives? And if it's close to where the car owner lives, that could potentially be Canandaigua Motorsports Park. And boy, what a lineup that would be at Canandaigua.
Sure would. That'd be amazing to see Billy in that field. And, now where would it be if it's close to Billy? Where's the closest track to Billy at this point?
Well, Billy's from Unadilla, which
That's
is is kind of in the southeastern part of the state, not quite all the way down toward like Middletown and New York City. But, in my opinion, I was thinking if it was close to Billy, I'm thinking, Albany, Saratoga, Fonda, which, we just found out the doctor's going to Fonda on Saturday night. So, if you had Billy and the doctor and Ronnie Johnson and all the regulars there at Fonda, that could also be a monster show on Saturday night. So we'll find out how that's going to play out, but he is on the series. They're going to run some other assorted shows and the small block satellite races at Super Dirt Week 2016. So everybody has landed in their own respective spots as we get ready to start the season, which, by the way, guys, what is it, Tom? We were talking last night, about 3 weeks away, and we'll be starting down in Volusia.
Boy, it's going fast, isn't it? Seemed like we just finished up unwrapping Christmas presents, and now here we are talking about Florida and Daytona and Volusia, and of course I was in the middle of NASCAR Media Week Day 1 down here, and it's amazing how quick time goes. We're already really looking ahead to February here. January is almost over.
Well, it seems like once the first of the year gets here and the Wild West Shootout comes up at Cocopah, it just seems like everything is super fast from here on out. It just means that we're coming out of Turn 4 ready to take the green flag on another great season of dirt racing.
Well, that's for sure.
And you were talking about media tour today, Tom. Just another day at the office out there today, right?
Yeah, just another day at the office. NASCAR started us all off this morning with I think they were attempting to break the internet before noon. And, then we had a couple of relatively tame press conferences after NASCAR got finished up. We had Joe Gibbs Racing, and then we had Furniture Row Racing. And the biggest thing that really came out of Furniture Row was the fact that Bass Pro Shop's going to do a 9-race deal on the 78 car with Martin Truex this year. The biggest thing that came out of Joe Gibbs Racing was that apparently the old ball coach, Joe Gibbs himself, apparently borrowed Matt Kenseth's plane to go to the Redskins playoff game. The problem was he didn't invite Matt. So that was the source of some pretty good laughter on the stage and in the audience when they were telling that story. Joe, of course, looked up with a sheepish grin and said, "I can't imagine why Matt would be upset about that."
What do you guys have left? What's coming up tomorrow? Part of the media tour.
Well, they go by manufacturer. Each manufacturer gets a day. Today was Toyota Day, and the cool thing at the end was that we actually had a little bit of a surprise visit from Rico Abreu. So we had a chance to chat a few minutes with Rico about his Chili Bowl experience, and so we can talk about that in a bit if you want. But tomorrow is the Ford Day. It starts off with Richard Petty Motorsports, and then Roush Fenway Racing and Team Penske closes it out. And somewhere in there, Front Row Motorsports is expected to announce that Landon Castle going to fill the seat in the 38 car, it looks like, for this year, which I think is a great hire for them, and it's a good deal for Landon. I think Front Row is poised for a little bit of improvement this year with some additional, more closely supported by Ford and Roush Fenway and probably Penske as well, I would guess. So that should be a better deal. So Landon will team with Chris Busch, or at least that's what we're all expecting, that sometime tomorrow that's going to be announced. And so then Thursday is Chevrolet Day, so you'll get all the Chevy teams doing their pressers on Thursday.
Tom, they used to have the Gillette Young Guns. Now I think you have to call it the Ford Young Guns.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's true. That's Front Row is that's going to be a team to watch this year. Only 2 cars in the lineup for them this year. They're not going to run 3, and I think Chris Buescher and Landon Castle will both be interesting to watch if they can just the big thing is obviously those cars, if they can get the performance up on them, get them going a little farther to the front. I think both of those drivers are capable of pushing them there.
No doubt. Tom, we're gonna hold on to you here. We've got to talk Chili Bowl here in our next segment. You just mentioned Rico Abreu. We'll talk about Rico's big win at the Chili Bowl and all of Tom and Clint's reaction to the racing this weekend out at the Tulsa Expo Center. Stay tuned, race fans, to Turn 5 Live right here on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsport.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the Track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the Track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ball in street? Girl in street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, recording artists against drunk driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more. But the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives and so should you.
Motorsports Sales Professionals. Performance Motorsports is looking to build a team of experienced media sales professionals to represent our programming to the industry's top companies, magazines, and racing series. If you have motorsports sales or marketing experience, know how to work with agencies, understand social media, and are incredibly creative when it comes to working with clients and promotions, then we want to hear from you. Top performers are richly rewarded. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444, or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Hi, race fans. This is Otto Sitterly, driver of the Nicotra Racing number 7, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Well, why not? We'll have Otto Sitterly in here as we've got probably one of the biggest fans of super modified racing that I know, whether it's North Carolina or New York. So welcome back, race fans. To Turn 5 Live here, Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, and Tom Baker around the round table talking dirt track racing. And Tom Rico Abreu gets his second Golden Driller at the Chili Bowl this past weekend. A lot of things that we could talk about that win. One being the crucial call at the end, where his team had to kind of fight for him there for a position that he did have, but without everybody taking a second look at it, it may have been that he had to start third, and if he had to restart third there with 15 to go, who knows if he would have caught up to Clausen.
Yeah, that was interesting. I really was surprised there was even any question. I mean, you could see on the replay that he clearly had second, and so I'm not sure why there was such an issue over that. I would have thought that should have been self-evident, but in the end, justice was certainly done. And Rico talked about the fact that that race is a race where it's a 55 lap race, and you really have to drive it almost like two different races. He talked about today the fact that it's such a single groove racetrack. They kind of over prepare the track before the race itself starts, and so it's kind of a single groove track, and he got a little bit caught up early trying to probably run harder than he should on the top where there was no real top, and ended up going backwards a little bit. And he said he kind of waited till the top groove came in, and then once there were two grooves to race in, once he could run the outside, then he was able to get himself back up where he needed to be. So it was kind of interesting listening to him talk about it and just kind of watching the expression on his face. It was kind of as if the beginning of the race didn't even faze him. He knew he had something for the end, so it was like, okay, I'll just sit back here a while. And, like you said, that could have been a bad deal if he'd had to restart third, although, quite honestly, I think he had the fastest car at the end, and I don't know if it would have mattered, but certainly he should have been in second, and ultimately that's where they put him, and he was able to get by Brian. And somebody asked him, some of the media that attend the NASCAR media day, I don't think are quite familiar with with the Chili Bowl style of racing. So they ask questions that you're kind of like, huh? And so some guy, I'm not sure who he was, some guy with a foreign accent says, "Hey, Rico, were you worried about Clausen dropping you in Victory Lane?" It's just really.
Wow.
Rico, he just sort of smiled at him. He said, "No, I was actually more worried about hitting them in the head with my helmet." He said, and he talked about what a class act Brian was and how much they enjoy racing with each other. So it was really cool just to be able to hear Rico talk about that whole side of him, and just really to kind of light up and be able to, he said one of the first things he checked was to see if there was a conflict, because he's running the whole truck series this year with Thorsport. He wanted to see if there was a conflict with the Knoxville Nationals. He looked, he said, nope, we're good. So he's ready to go.
Well, that's good. Clint, I'll turn to you here as we run over the finishing order here. 55 laps in the A main Saturday night. Rico Abreu started fourth, got the win. Brian Clausen led a good deal of that race from the pole. He came home in second. Zach Dahm was third. Jerry Coons Jr. fourth. Kyle Larson, a good charge from 22nd, had to claw his way up from the back of the field. Tim McCready, a local guy here from the Northeast, driving the Bondio car, come home sixth. Tyler Thomas, Thomas Meserol, and Tanner Thorson, Joey Saldana rounded out the top 10. Clint, reaction from the top 10, T-Mac in sixth. A lot of good stories looking down through the field. Yeah, there really is. And, one of the videos that was posted was, T-Mac wasn't going to be denied in his heat. I guess he did a 360 spin and go to hold on to his position and, to lock himself into the Saturday night main. Another thing to talk about, Christopher Bell, actually, I think he led right off the bat and got caught up with a lap car, and had to go to the rear on like lap 10 or 12 or something like that. Yes. I think if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Had a really fast car, got back up to 12th place. Let's see. I did hear that Kevin Swindell wasn't very happy with the track conditions. He was pretty disappointed that the top line, like Tom was talking about earlier, didn't come in any quicker. But there was a lot of racing on the track that day, and Tony Stewart and crew did the best job that they could to give them a good track to race on for the feature. Is as far as I'm concerned, and it was even coming in to make it racy at the end. I think is still worth the price of admission. Absolutely, Tom. You look at some guys that really had a lot of work to do to make their way up through the field. Kyle Larson, 22nd to 5th. Yeah. That story, can tell itself. But that story aside, what else struck you this weekend from the Chili Bowl? Well, I always look for the overachievers, and I think Central New York can be pretty proud of Larry White. He went out there for the first time, and I'm not even sure he's ever driven a midget before. Nope. But he went out there and he really put on a good disguise of somebody who actually knew what he was doing. He ran very well and put himself in a good position. Fell a little bit short. I think he ended up being one of 3 cars in one of the A mains. I think was it Thursday, whatever his qualifying day was, that got over, tipped over. But I really look at some of the guys like him that I think actually overachieved. I don't think anybody could have expected Larry to do what he did. And I think that's a situation where I hope that this will become a yearly thing for him, because I certainly think that, with another time or two out there and more experience, I don't see why Larry couldn't be every bit what Tim McCready is in one of those cars. And so, he was one of the ones that really stuck out for me. And the other driver that stuck out for me was Alex Bright, who I think is from Pennsylvania somewhere, isn't he? Yeah, yes, he is. Yeah, I mean, he just had a spectacular week out there, picking up the win, I think, on Tuesday night in the A main. And that's again, when you go out and you can run against competition like that, and you look at some of the guys who didn't make the features, didn't make the main event at the end of the
the night on Saturday. And then you look at somebody like Alex Bright, who did so well. I mean, that really says a lot. So I think one of the coolest things about the Chili Bowl are the guys that you look and you go, wow, who is this? And, they overachieve and really kind of put themselves out in the spotlight. And then, of course, on the opposite end of that, there was good old Mr. Shank, who was in the A main, and then he wasn't in the A main because he really was actually somebody completely different. I mean, it's one of those things where you kind of shake your head and go, okay, so now we got drivers disguising themselves as other drivers. I'm not sure really for what purpose, other than maybe to get the guy in the feature, but
that almost made me pull out black flag, checkered flag segment this week, but I decided to keep it on the Pine Pony.
Well, that would get my black flag, but thankfully he got an early checkered out of the race. So
yep. Guys, as we get ready to wrap up the Chili Bowl discussion, we got Brad Ovens joining us here on the program tonight as well. And real quick to each of you guys, Rico Abreu's got 2 Golden Drillers now, ties him with Tony Stewart. Can Rico keep adding to this total? Does he get more Golden Drillers throughout his career? I'll start with Tom.
Well, sure, why not? It sounds good to me. I mean, the guy's got the place down. I think it's one of those places, isn't it, where it gets very streaky. I mean, look at the Swindells. They win 1, they win 2 or 3 in a row. So, yeah, I don't see why Rico wouldn't win more. I know he'll be able to continue running the race, at least for now. So I would think he'd probably get at least 1 more, if not several. Clint?
Yeah, right now I believe that he could get 2 or 3 more without a problem. He seems to have the midget cars and the Chili Bowl. He seems to have it all under control.
Let's bring in Brad. Brad, for you see any more Golden Drillers in Rico's future?
Yeah, I think I agree with what Tom was saying. If Rico can continue to run the Chili Bowl, now obviously we know he's making the move to NASCAR, and we know how some of those restrictions, depending on the teams and different things like that. I think Tom's right. If he can continue running.
So we'll put Brad in for a yes. Everybody in for a yes there. Tom, I appreciate the time tonight, and good luck to you guys the rest of the week out at the media tour.
Looking forward to it. 2 more big days to go, and we'll have a fun show here on PMN on Thursday night, the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Show, 7 o'clock Eastern time, right here on PMN on Thursday night. So have a great rest of the show, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, that's Tom Baker from RaceChaserOnline.com, as well as the Performance Motorsports Network. Appreciate his time joining us tonight. We're going to a quick break here. On the other side, we're going to talk to Dana Allen from Shark Racing. She's going to tell us all about Sharkfest 2016. We'll be headed there on Saturday, so looking forward to hearing from Dana right here in just a moment. Stay with us here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Max Dairy Bar is a proud supporter of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Opened in 1974, Max Dairy Bar has been a Penn Yan, Cayuga Lake, and Yates County staple, serving the best Hershey's hard ice cream. They also have soft serve ice cream, their weekly yogurt special, sorbet flavors, gluten-free options, frozen Greek yogurt, and non-dairy lemon ice. Don't forget about their tricky 18-hole putt-putt course that will test your skill to see if you have what it takes to be a champion. Max Dairy Bar and Mini Golf, located on State Route 14A, just south of the village of Penn Yan, right on the way to Black Rock Speedway on Friday nights. Visit them online at www.maxdairybar.com or Max Dairy Bar on Facebook and Twitter. Stop by Max Dairy Bar and tell them Turn 5 Live sent you.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of Internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
Hi, race fans. This is Nick Cooper, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Nick Cooper joining us here on the re-entry here. We're talking dirt track racing here on Turn 5 Live, and going off to the hotline now to bring in Dana Allen from Shark Racing. She's going to talk to us about Sharkfest 2016 coming up this weekend. We'll be talking with Dana here in just a moment. And Clint and Brad both really looking forward to going down to Sharkfest this weekend. We talked about it last year and didn't get down there, but made a conscious effort that we're going to do it this year.
Yeah, it was kind of something that one night we just decided, you know what, let's do it. Why not? And just so happened to work out that all three of us have the weekend off. And Brad, I know you're looking forward to going.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy going down and spending time a good race party, a benefit. Get to see everybody and look at all the new things coming out. And I think it's cool to get to go to support a team for the year.
So, guys, we're getting ready to go down for that this weekend. That taking place out in New Oxford, PA. Not too far, about maybe a 10-minute drive away from Hanover, Pennsylvania, down in the southeast. And, boys, sounds like we're going to be dodging a little bit of snow, but, that never deterred us from going to a good race party. So let's talk a little bit about their past season while we're talking about Shark Racing, Clint. I know that we like to follow along. We've had both of the guys on the show several times, and it really seemed to me like they really took a step forward this season in their second full year.
Yeah, second full year, and the last half of the season. The last half this year would have been their. When they could start using their notes from the Triple X chassis that they had. When they started last year, it was a new chassis and it was all kind of new to them, and it was like learning all over again. I had a couple conversations with Logan, and so once they got past that point, it seemed that things picked up a lot, and then Jacob, of course, had kind of a coming out party of his own. He made more A-mains this year than he made last year, and he was much more competitive on a regular basis. And I think, the big step that they took, was going to help their confidence big time.
No doubt. Dana Allen joining us on the hotline now. Dana, thank you so much for your time tonight, as we're looking forward to coming down and seeing you guys for Sharkfest 2016.
Thank you for having me on.
So talk to us about Sharkfest. What for the race fans that have never been or haven't heard of Sharkfest, give us a little flavor of what Sharkfest is all about and what'll be happening this weekend.
Well, this is our 7th year having Sharkfest, and what it is it's basically a night and an opportunity to have the race fans get to hang out with Logan and Jacob and Dad, and what we try to do is raise money to give back to the team. And each year we try to expand and grow with it, and this year we actually have a sold out event. And there's many ways that when the fans come, they have an opportunity to win raffles. We have a ton of door prizes. We've got a GoPro raffle up for bid. We have, an iPad, Apple TV. There's great items that the fans can win when they come out. We have a live band, the Colt Wilbur Band. It's the first time we're having them there.
Well, that's awesome. It sounds like this is going to be a happening event on Saturday night. Talk about, how this has grown over the 7 years. I'm sure that, 2016's version of Sharkfest has only grown and gotten bigger since the first one.
Yeah, absolutely. The first year, I actually didn't have anything to do with it. My cousin's wife and her friend got together and they thought, you know what, we should, have a little event, sell tickets, and have entertainment and have our fans, come out. And we had it at a small Republican club, and we sold out. We sold 150 tickets, and we, did a great job raising money for the team. And, the next year I was like, I want to go on board. So we decided to have it up at the New Oxford Social Pavilion, and we had a great year that year. And each year we learn, something from it, like what to do, what not to do. And, we charge a little bit more at the door because we try to, get our food count in is the main reason why we do that. But, I try to bring something new to the table. I usually try to bring on new shark racing apparel to have so that it's, for the first time. This year we did something different where the first 100 buyers get a goodie bag at the door, and they get a brand new koozie. They get $5 off the shark racing apparel. They get a new shark racing decal, a Colt Wilbur. They donated koozies, and another decal that I have on there. So it's, something for the first 100 buyers. So we try to do something different, and, it's a lot about fun and, everyone just having a good time and, getting to meet meet both Logan and Jacob if they haven't and hang out. And that's basically what I hear from people. They just really enjoy, getting to hang out with them outside of the track. There, if they see them, they're at their job, they're at their work, they're, trying to have their game on. And, at the Sharkfest, they're able to, really see them in a whole different, atmosphere. And I'm always humbled every year. The amount that everybody does for my dad and, the giving back and seeing everyone have a great time. It's a lot of work leading up to it, but afterwards I'm always like, whoa, that was awesome.
And it's gotta be such a boost for the team getting ready to get the season started. I mean, we're only a couple weeks away from kicking off in Volusia. This has got to be a great way to get the season kicked off.
It does. It's great. Last year was the first year that I had pictures throughout the year because I try to go to, a lot of the, as many of the bigger shows that I can. And I put a little film or a little reel together and I play it throughout, it just plays ongoing throughout the night. And I have clips of their different races and it gets them pumped up for sure. Last year when we were setting up, Logan was standing up at the front by himself, just, arms crossed, watching, all the clips and the races and stuff. So yeah, it definitely gets them, excited and ready to get out there. And it's going to be a great year. I feel it. And the best part is, though, every year, which this storm seems a little bad, every single year, there is always a chance of snow. Every year. Last year I put a post, we are going to have the fundraiser no matter what. If it's just our team and a few of the, fans that can get there with a truck, it is going to happen. We're going to bring the house down and rock and roll whether we get an inch of snow or 2 feet of snow.
Well, we've got the 4-wheel drive cranked up and ready to go on Saturday. So
oh, good. Then I'll see you there for sure.
We're ready for it. But it seems like over the course of the years you guys have had this event, it really seems like the fans and the local crowd really put their arms around both Logan and Jacob in the racing efforts. It just sounds like a great local event, and not just local. I mean, this is reaching arms out to people around southeast Pennsylvania and central PA, and just seems like everybody really wraps their arms around them.
They really do. And honestly, like, that's one of the biggest things. I am so humbled by it, if lack of a better word, if that's what I'm saying. The amount of people that come out. I remember 2-3 years ago, there was a gentleman, Eddie Floyd, and he came up and was talking about his father, how much of a race fan he was of my dad, and he came up and he had a pin that he never took off, and he wore it like from days of helping my dad when he was younger. And sadly to say, he's no longer with us, but his son went through his shirts and he gave back a lot of his dad's shirts that were my dad's, like, just vintage scruffy shirts. I mean, the fans are amazing. I love it. I mean, I wish I had more time that I could really just enjoy the whole. I do enjoy the whole night, but it just goes so fast, and I'm usually so busy, doing a lot of it, getting everything. Usually around the last hour, I can really kind of just go shoo and breathe and have everything. But it definitely is. It's rewarding on both ends. I think everyone. There's a lot of them that have been there every year. We get some new faces and, some that couldn't make it this year, but, it's great. It's, like I said, I try to bring something new to the table and, and have something different than last year and have our raffle items, great, so that, fans can walk out of there and, win a TV, win a 42-inch, TV, LED TV, and, have a great time, enjoy it and hang out with everyone.
You mentioned that the fundraiser this weekend is sold out, but certainly fans that are looking for any shark racing apparel, where can they go to find that?
We will have them. The new stuff I haven't loaded onto the website, so that's where I'm going to have it. Once the Sharkfest, I kind of concentrate on just doing the Sharkfest first, and then after that, we're going to get the store. Everything that's on there pretty much right now is sold out, so I haven't gotten their 2016 T-shirts made yet because we're not sure exactly what the decals are going to look like. The cars should be there. Weather permitting, the cars should be at the pavilion. But I have new sweatshirts that will be there and new hats and a few items, but the regular things that we're going to have for the season, I don't have those yet. They're not available.
Cool. Well, you heard that, Clint. Bring your allowance money this week.
I'll just see if I can break in the kids' piggy bank.
I'm sorry?
Well, Dana, I appreciate the time tonight. We're really looking forward to meeting you guys on Saturday, and going to have a good time at Sharkfest 2016.
Thank you. I look forward to it, too. It's exciting.
All right.
Thanks
Dana
for having
Allen
me.
From Shark Racing joining us on the hotline tonight. Looking forward to getting out and meeting those guys on Saturday. Next Tuesday's episode of Turn 5 Live will be our recorded episode from Sharkfest 2016. So stay tuned for that. Next Tuesday night, we'll have interviews with Logan, Jacob. We'll get Scruffy sat down and we'll interview him as well. And we'll have a lot of good stuff for you next Tuesday, our episode from Sharkfest 2016. So we'll step aside here, guys. When we come back, we're going to talk to the Patriot Sprint Tour champion. We've got Sammy Reakes coming up next here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Every 30 minutes, another innocent person is killed due to a drunk driver.
My best friend. My brother. My poor grandchild.
My sister.
My father.
My husband.
My mom. My mommy.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you.
Stop these tragedies before they happen. Don't drink and drive.
The Performance Motorsports Network is a compilation of shows about motorsports. From technical to controversial to just fun, everything you like about racing and gearhead stuff is right here on one internet channel. The Performance Motorsports Network. Tell your friends about it.
Hi, I'm Reed Sorensen. Racing has been a part of me and my family for as long as I can remember. I had to make tough choices early on to get to the top. It took hard work and dedication. But it's those tough choices that help me prepare for challenges I would face as a cup driver. Make the right choices today and be ready for the challenges tomorrow.
Hi, race fans. This is Daryl Ruggles, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Welcome back, race fans. Turn 5 Live here on PMN. Daryl Ruggles, Motorized Madman, bringing us back from commercial break. And we're going to be talking next to Sammy Reakes, the defending American Series champion for the Patriot Sprint Tour. Matter of fact, he wrapped that up this past season in their event at the Black Rock Speedway. Got to pull out the champions banners and everything of that sort. So why don't we go over to the hotline and talk to Sammy Reakes joining us tonight. And we'll talk to him here in just a moment. But Clint Miller, Patriot Sprint Tour, they've been making some announcements. The Patriots will return to Woodhall for 2 dates in 2016. Of course, their May show and always their typical July show. Brian Howland and Justin Barger, the defending winners down there at Woodhall. I'll be honest with you, as the new guy, new PR guy and announcer coming in at Woodhall, I'm really looking forward to the Patriot shows. You take these powerful 360 sprint cars and put them on a little third-mile bull ring, you really get to see the power and the handling that those cars can put out.
Oh, yeah, man. If you haven't watched a sprint car race at Woodhall, you really owe it to yourself to make it down to one of them shows, because Woodhall is a great place for these guys to run. It's a small bull ring, and it's just awesome to watch. They get a lot of power down.
Well, why don't we talk to a guy that has raced down at the Woodhall Raceway? Sammy Reakes joining us on the line, defending American Series Patriot Sprint Tour champion. Sammy, appreciate the time tonight.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Oh, we're doing well. We're doing well. How are the preparations going for you guys here for 2016?
So far, so good. Just got the car back from getting lettered up. So get to start the assembly process here. Probably get started on it this weekend, and hopefully get it ready for the parts dealer show.
Now, as far as the plans go for 2016, what are things looking like for you guys this year?
A little bit different than last year. I'll try to do as much of the Patriot stuff as we can. The only thing I think that will change is, when we got some shows that are closer to home, I'll probably stay closer to home this year. I'd really like to race in front of some of my friends and family this year. Last year was a little tough with all the traveling and stuff. So maybe stay a little closer this year, go for a few more wins than the point side of things.
Absolutely. You guys pulled down the American Series Championship last season. What did that mean to you and your team?
That was pretty awesome. Don't have much of a team. It's really just me and my dad. And it was awesome. That was a very cool experience. This is probably the highest level of racing I'll ever achieve. So to win a championship at something and running good all the time with the sportsman car back in the day, it was fun. And then when we got into the sprint cars, I thought I'd be good and run good. But to be able to win a championship, I don't think I ever thought I'd do that. So a pretty cool experience.
I mean, it's something to put a W, to notch a W, but when you put that into that words of we won a championship, I mean that's on a whole nother level.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty crazy thing when I saw when you sit back when the season's over and you think about it, it's pretty awesome. It's a lot, it's a whole year's worth of work, to build up to that point, and really it's probably the first championship I think I've won since I was probably a kid, since 12 or younger. So, it's not easy to win a championship really in any form of racing. So to get one, in such a high level of racing was something that, I probably thought was out of reach, for me once I got out of the sportsman division. But to put a season together like we had, and, and not only was it tough, but we had a lot of fun this year. I think that was the best thing. Just got back to the basics and just had fun. And I think that was the most important thing, was having fun every weekend we went to the racetrack and just enjoying being there, and the results kind of flow from there.
What was a race this season that was either the turning point for you guys, or was a race that things really came together for you?
I think there was a few points things kind of turned around for us. The last couple of years we struggled. I hadn't been racing much. I think the 2 years prior to this past season, I think I ran probably 15, 16 races in the combined 2 years. So, I was averaging about 8 races a year the last 2 years. Obviously, you're not going to be any good running 8 races a year. You're not going to compete with the Chuck Evings and the Jason Barneys and the Steve Poyers of the world. So, I think this season, I struggled with the engine program, and I got hooked up with Tommy Carr, who actually built all my sportsman stuff. Got hooked up with him and got me pointed in the right direction. And I think I really realized what we had. First Patriot race of the year was at Canandaigua. We went out and won the heat race, which is something I even struggled to do the couple of years prior. And then, we ran fifth in the feature to some good guys. And then the following race, I think, was Woodhall. We had another sixth, I think. And then after that was State Line and Erez, where we had picked up a couple wins, and I think the season kind of turned from that. And race is a lot of momentum. Once you start running good like that, everything just translates.
You mentioned racing at Woodhall, and certainly that's a track that we talk about quite a bit here on the show. 360 sprint car aside, I mean that's a beast all on its own. But then you've got to take that beast and try and get it around a 3rd mile bull ring. Talk to us about that experience.
That was this year was my first time there. It was a pretty cool place. I did like it. It's a little different. I watched some videos, before we went, of Chuck Even, winning a bunch of races there right on the high side. Interestingly enough, the season really wasn't that fast on the outside. There. It was more of a, kind of middle to the bottom type racetrack this season. And I had a lot of fun going there. It's a very interesting track surface. It's hard to get a hold of. If you can get a hold of that place, you can get a hold of anywhere. And I'm not going to say we were great there. We did pick up a Dashman, and like I said, we had a pair of 6. But very cool place. My first 2 times there. I look forward to going back next year, as well as a lot of the places that were on the Patriots Tour. I mean, that was my first or second time at a lot of those tracks. So, to go places I have experienced laps with, when I race around here, I'm comfortable. I've been to the tracks all a million times. But that's the thing I like about the sprint cars, is you get to travel. You get to see all the different places, and I think that's a cool thing that the sprint cars offer.
You talked a little bit about getting that power down to the ground and getting a hold of the racing surface. Is that the hardest part of wheeling a 360 sprint car?
I think it's that. I think it's a combination of things. I think getting the power hooked up to the track probably isn't the toughest challenge. I think a lot of it is, it's more of a momentum thing that I think you realize, even when the track's slick, any little thing in the sprint car is the only race car I've ever been in that, if you mess up one lap, you can lose, half a straightaway on a guy, or if you hit a lap perfect, you can gain a half a straightaway on a guy in a lap. There's no other race car I've ever been in that you can do that. And I think the hard thing with the sprint car is finding that consistency every lap. And I think that's where guys like Poya and them who have figured it out, or you watch some of the outlaw guys like Donnie Schatz, they've figured out that consistency every lap. And I think a sprint car is so unpredictable. I think that's the thing that's hard with them. You know, there's those big wings up on the top of them. They're like big blocks in the air. If the wind catches that any certain way, it can make the car do, a different thing each lap. And those guys, the way they can figure it out and get that consistent lap each time, I think that's the toughest thing.
Something else that I remember seeing is that you had an opportunity at the end of the year to get some laps around the Moody Mile there at the finale. Talk to us about that.
Syracuse is a big part of my family and a big part of my career. As far as racing goes, we picked up a win there back in 2007 with the Sportsman thing, and it's just my great uncle Sam. He never won there. He finished second a couple times. It was his favorite racetrack. To pick up a win there in 2007 was a big thing for my family, a big thing for me. It's still probably the biggest win I've ever had. And it was tough. It was tough going there this year. It was going to be your last time there. Bob Reese, I was lucky enough to get hooked up with him, and I've known Bob the last probably 4 or 5 years. That's who I bought my first sprint car from. He bought, my Sportsman car, and it was kind of a cool experience to go back in one of my old cars and go run the mile, especially when there was 90 cars there. We were, it's the first time I was in a Sportsman car in probably 2-3 years. So I hopped back in one. I was happy just to qualify for the race. It wasn't an easy one to get into with that many cars there and only getting about 3 laps of practice. But it was really cool. We struggled, race day, but it was cool just to run 30 laps there. It was the last 30 laps anybody's ever going to run there. I think that was just, it was cool. You get it all on video. It's something you can remember. I got to run the finale at the mile, and I think looking back on it, now it's even going to mean more to me being able to win there. It's not a place a lot of people will want at. So, to have that on your resume and something, I can look back and look at that trophy and go, that was a really cool experience.
Well, I'm glad that worked out for you. I mean, you're right. I mean, the history with your family there at that track and to be able to run in the finale, I can't imagine how much that must have meant. You talked about Dad being part of the crew, and talk to us about some of the folks, whether it's sponsors, family, crew that help make it happen for you.
Yeah, obviously, like I said, my dad's he's the crew. He's there every weekend, and he's the most dedicated person I know. So obviously, it's me and him every weekend. I got my wife Amy. She comes to a lot of the races. And then as far as sponsors go, we have around town heating and plumbing. Todd races a Sportsman car locally around here. Great company. They've sponsored me all 4 years I've been in the sprint car, so that's a really cool thing. We just brought Napa on board this year, so picked up a new sponsor there. And those are really my 2 major sponsors. The only thing that is unfortunate with the sprint cars is not a lot of room for advertisement. You get a couple big ones. There's not a lot of space left on the car.
Well, that's all right. As long as they're big ones, that's all that matters, right?
Absolutely.
Well, Sammy, I appreciate the time tonight. And if you guys get down to Woodhull this year, we'll look forward to seeing you down there on the high banks.
Yes, sir. It looks like we got a couple stops there this year, so we'll see you when we're there.
All right. Appreciate the time tonight as well.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Thank you.
All right. Sammy Reakes joining us on the hotline here tonight, talking about his Patriot Sprint Tour Championship, getting to run on the mile for the finale at the fairgrounds, and a lot of good stuff coming for those guys this season here in 2016. Guys, we're going to step aside here on the other side of the break. We're going to stick with the sprint car theme. We're going to talk to Megan Allen, 600 micro racer who just hung up the helmet here after this past season. We'll talk to her about her racing career and the decision to hang up the hat after this year. We'll talk to Megan next here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Max Dairy Bar is a proud supporter of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Opened in 1974, Max Dairy Bar has been a Penn Yan, Cayuga Lake, and Yates County staple, serving the best Hershey's hard ice cream. They also have soft serve ice cream, their weekly yogurt special, sorbet flavors, gluten-free options, frozen Greek yogurt, and non-dairy lemon ice. Don't forget about their tricky 18-hole putt-putt course that will test your skill to see if you have what it takes to be a champion. Max Dairy Bar and Mini Golf, located on State Route 14A, just south of the village of Penn Yan, right on the way to Black Rock Speedway on Friday nights. Visit them online at www.maxdairybar.com or Max Dairy Bar on Facebook and Twitter. Stop by Max Dairy Bar and tell them Turn 5 Live sent you. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Hi, race fans. This is Mark Manullo, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Oh, Mr. Smooth bringing us back from commercial break here on Turn 5 Live, right here on PMN. Steve Ovens, Brad Ovens, Clint Miller joining me on the program tonight. And we're back off to the hotline. Told you guys we start hour number 2 with a jam-packed show here tonight. And we're back off to the hotline to bring in Megan Allen, 600cc micro sprint racer, a very decorated racer in her 600 career. But Megan, as I just saw earlier today, looks like we're going to be putting the racing career either on hold or away for a while here.
Yeah, how are you guys doing tonight? We definitely are putting things away for right now. I finally just posted on Microsprint Racing, different Facebook pages, that we were selling our stuff for once and for all.
So I'm sure that, not an easy decision to make, but, you look over your racing career of all the things that you've done and got, all the different tracks you guys have traveled to. You guys have had a really good run at it with the 12 car.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world. I've definitely dropped a lot of things in my life for racing, and I've made friendships, and more than friendships, families with people that I spend every weekend with, and it's just an amazing hobby to get yourself into, and it's sad to be leaving the sport, but I have to grow up a little bit, I guess. I graduate college in May, and I plan to move down to North Carolina, and I'm going to school for nursing, so as a new nurse, I just won't have time, and I don't want my car to just sit there in the garage. I'd rather it get some good use. So I'm not saying I'm going to be done racing forever, just putting a hold on it right now.
Now, Clint, this is something that some folks listening tonight may or may not know, but Megan and I have a lot in common. Number one, we're both nurses. She's going to be a nurse here, graduating in May. Number two, we both got our nursing education from St. John Fisher College. And what can I say? I'm partial to the Fisher nursing students, and when they say they've got a storied racing career. That's a perfect duo right there. So, Megan, talk to us about how was it that you got started in racing? What was there somebody in the family that gave you the racing bug, or what was it that got you into the sport?
Actually, no. My parents just used to go to the races when I was little, and Canandaigua and Weed Sport used to be my favorite track to go watch at on Sundays, and I just loved it. And I would race at the little family tracks that you would find all around, like when you go on vacation or something. And I'm from Seneca Falls, so I had the one in Waterloo that's right next to the Outland Mall, really close to me. And my dad's friend worked there, so I would always go there and race. And him and his brother actually raced go-karts, and he told me that I was pretty good at running those little carts there, so I should go try at Paradise one weekend with him and his brother. And I went, and my dad's coworker was selling his son's go-kart, so my dad bought it, and I just fell in love with it when I was about 7.5 years old, and now 21, almost 22, and still loving it.
Now, Megan, you and I have talked briefly online about we were going to get my son to meet you. Just a little background for that, for those of you listening. I took my kids to Paradise one night, and Megan was there. I think she finished second or third, maybe even one. I'm old, I can't remember. But the nice thing about what Paradise does is when you guys come through from off the track, you kind of pass behind the grandstands. And as my son and I were walking out, you were kind of stopped right in front of us, and he was like staring in awe at this, big to him because he was 6 or 7 years old, these 600 micros, and you kind of just did a little wave at him, and that really made his night, and he's kind of talked about go-karts ever since. So it's something that I'll be diving into, but just wanted to tell everybody that you were kind of, an integral part of that situation, and it was, because that little wave that you could give to a fan, it just makes their day.
Yeah, fans make my whole racing experience even better. I mean, I'm a small town girl, and I've traveled from New York all the way to Florida, and the people that you meet along the way and that keep in touch with you are probably one of the best things about racing, that you can connect with people, and you can show people a good time and be a good example for people as they were to me. I had guys when I started racing go-karts. Chad Weatherby, he is a few years older than me, and he would get down on the dirt and draw the racetrack on the ground for me and show me where I needed to be driving. And a couple of years ago, I started doing that for a younger girl that just started racing go-karts, and it's things like that you help one another, and your fans make you who you are. And I'm glad I could do that for your son, and it's a good feeling when I make other people, what I do out there is also making other people happy besides just me.
I'll tell you what, guys, Megan just brought up a name, and that's a name that is synonymous with go-kart racing in New York, and that's the Weatherby family. Chad and his brother Mike, somebody that I learned from at Paradise Speedway when we were racing go-karts. Megan, that community of racers over at Paradise, whether they race Paradise or they race elsewhere, we talk about dirt track, the racing community, all the time, but it seems like in go-karts and with the micros over at Paradise, it's such a close-knit family over there that that's what dirt track racing's all about.
It really is. I mean, like I said earlier, I've gained people that started as friends and now they're family, and I wouldn't change that for the world. And everyone, you all might be there to win the race, but everyone's there to help you. And Paradise has been my home track since I first started, and I I've left a few times to just try to travel around a little more and expand my horizons as a driver and try to become a better driver besides racing at one track weekly. But I'll still always come back there, and that'll always be my home track. And it's definitely got its own small town feel, and we're all a little community at Paradise.
Let's look back over the racing career. I know that you guys have got to do some traveling with the car. Is there a track that was a big bucket list item that you crossed off the list, or was there a unique track that you went to, or maybe it was not just the track, it was the event that is going to leave a lasting memory for you and your family?
Yeah, I would say both the East Bay Winter Nationals down in Florida and the Linda's National Open in Pennsylvania. They're both true experiences that everyone should always experience, and I wish I could have raced at the Tulsa Shootout. But Linda's, I went down there a couple years ago for the first time, and it was on the weekend of the National Open. Never had been to the track. There was over 100 cars there in the 600 class, and I made the show right out of my heat race, and that was something that was an amazing thing for me, because only 24 cars make the show, and I was one of those 24 cars, and against all the PA guys who are some of the best in the country, and it just showed me as a driver who I really am, that yeah, I might be from a small town and race at a small track, but I really can compete with the big boys.
What will be the thing of your racing career, or is there a moment at the track, or getting ready, or sitting on the lineup? What is the thing that you'll miss the most from the racetrack?
I would have to say when I win a race and my grandparents would drive out, because they're too old to walk out to the track. They would drive their little car out on the track at Paradise, and my grandpa and my grandma would stand up next to me in winner's circle and take pictures with me. That was probably the most memorable part of my race, and probably one of the most proudest moments that I can make them so proud of me.
Well, I'm sure that's got to be there at the top. That's always a great moment to share those wins with family, and you guys have had a chance to do that quite a bit over your career. Talk to us about some of the folks that have helped you guys along the way. There's been a lot of great seasons, whether it was in the go-karts or the micro sprints.
Yeah, I've definitely had a lot of good sponsors along the way, and I couldn't have done anything without my dad. My dad works day and night on my car and is amazing at the things he can pull off, and my mom too, for just always supporting me and always staying behind me on everything that I do. And Westward Painting Company has been there for us since day one, and I couldn't thank them more. And Hyper Racing and spar engines and glow injections, they've always helped us, and we couldn't have done it without all their help and all their knowledge. And something would happen to a motor, and Spar would take it for us the next day, and he would sometimes finish the motor while my dad was sitting there waiting for him. And that just shows how close everyone is, that they want us back in the sport, and everyone's just there to help us. And we couldn't have done it without our sponsors, and even without the fans. And I just love people that keep in track with me and follow my racing, and it's really nice.
Well, I can say on behalf of the rest of the racing community that we certainly wish you luck, and finish out your college studies strong, but that role model in the pit area and for the racing community, even on social media, is something that's going to be missed. But we really appreciate the time to catch up with you tonight and talk about some of those highlights over your racing career. And we certainly wish you a lot of luck, Megan.
Thank you, and I appreciate you guys having me tonight. Thanks.
All right, Megan Allen joining us here on the hotline tonight. Tell you what, Clint Miller, I don't know what more you can say. Class act right there. A very bright young lady and a hell of a role model for the local dirt scene.
Oh, absolutely. I was, when I saw that she was on tonight, I was really excited to hear that, just to hear what she had to say. And it's really a bummer that she's walking away from it right now. But like she said, maybe not forever, but for right now to concentrate on her career. So, Megan, thank you for being on, and good luck in all your future endeavors.
Yeah, well, we've got, oh boy, guys, look at this. We have coming up next, the man with the plan, Mel Thomas from Thomas Video, going to join us next. Fasten the 5-point harness, because this is going to get a little crazy here. We'll talk to Mel Thomas next here on Turn 5 Live on PMN, the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, recording artists against drunk driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more, but the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives and so should you.
You are a waste. A loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas, then get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
Hi, race fans. This is Fran Hilton, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Oh, man. Guys, the re-entries are on the money tonight.
They are, too.
Franny Hilton bringing us back from commercial break, and we're bringing a guy on the hotline now, Mel Thomas, that, he's been to a few trade shows with old Franny.
Oh, yeah.
How are things going for you tonight, Mel? I know you guys are have had a busy off season. You were out at Ransomville the other day, and now getting ready to go out to the Niska banquet.
Yeah, we haven't slowed down much. I mean, we're just wrapping up loose ends that we had left hanging because we had to get our crash video and everything else done, and that was still done later than we've ever had it done because we had more stuff than we've ever had. So that was done. Actually done the day after Christmas.
Now, this is something that you and I were talking about the other day on the phone. The crash video for this season is all complete. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's the biggest one we've ever done. It runs 2 hours and 13 or 14 minutes. We've got stuff from all our regular tracks that we do, plus a lot of the special events that we covered on the various circuits, along with a little bit of the good stuff from Glen Ridge, Fonda, Albany, Saratoga, and Middletown that we got from Bobco Video and Racing Videos Tommy Saban. That is such an effort. Pretty well action packed, and we left out a lot of the simple stuff and just got the better hits in, you might say.
Mel, you guys have been doing that for quite a while now. That's such a coordinated effort.
It covers all classes of racing. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So, Mel, talk to us about, you were out at Ransomville on Saturday for the annual Hangover 150. To give us a little flavor from Ransomville Saturday.
Huh? Did we lose Mel?
I think we might have lost him there.
I'm here.
Oh, there we go. I know you were out at Ransomville the other day, Mel. Give us a little flavor from out there.
From Ransomville?
Yep.
It was probably one of the biggest car counts they've had in a number of years, possibly because of the postponement or everything, from the original date on New Year's. But it wasn't the greatest racing, but it was a lot of fun, and which everybody goes to. I've read some of the comments on some of the Facebook pages and chat lines and stuff, and they had 84 six-cylinder cars, and that one did go 50 laps. That was the first race of the day, and local guy Josh Simmons won it out of Middleport. Second was Austin Soucy, who was entered in all three divisions. He's right from Ransomville, Ryan Soucy's brother, and that was pretty interesting. Then they brought out the four cylinders. The track was so sloppy they had to bring them out of the pit area onto the racetrack and just go. So by the time the 101 four cylinders got out there, they were already lapping cars down the back straightaways. They were still coming out of the pits. They ran that for 15 laps. It had become quite a mess because of the track. Everybody was trying to run through the grass in the infield, so they took the payloaders and blocked some of the infield access, tried to keep them on the racetracks. And they red flagged at lap 15 to do that. Then they ended up running only about 30 laps total. Brent Senek was another local guy, was the winner of that one. Interesting, third place guy was Brandon Sherwood, who was their street stock champion last year, was running a four-cylinder with a wing on the top, so we can keep track of him pretty good. He finished in the third spot. Then they got the 8 cylinders out there, and that was pretty much dominated. They ran 25 laps for them instead of the 50. There was 28 cars, so they had a total of 213 cars for the three divisions. Sprint car driver Tim Phillips out of Grand Island took the win in that one, but he had quite a battle early going with one of the other competitors, and then John Soucy, Ryan's relative, finished in the second spot driving a big Ford. The guy that finished third had a big old Ford LTD wagon from the 70s, and managed to get around and finished in the third spot. That was Kyle Dilcher. He was from the local area up there as well. So they had a few invaders from Pennsylvania, but all in all, it was a fun day. And I got to say this: you can't say it was for lack of people, because with two people selling 50-50 tickets, the 50-50 was $784.
Wow. Wow, that's awesome. I mean, that event, Mel, and you announced at Ransomville for years. I mean, that is a hallowed event up there in the Niagara region. Well, I think we might have lost him again there, Clint.
Oh boy. Oh, Mel.
But Clint, think about that. 213 cars for that one event. That is really putting them together. We'll try and work out whatever audio issue I think we're having here with Mel. But yeah, well, Clint, we'll talk about this here. We've got an event that Mel and I are going to be doing not this weekend. Of course, we'll be at Sharkfest, but next weekend we're going to have Mel and I will be emceeing the awards banquet for Black Rock Speedway. And it's hard to believe, the Black Rock banquet is here upon us, and still waiting on some news. I'm hearing a lot of rumblings. I know that Clint hates it when I go there, but no official word yet.
I don't hate it when you go there. I hate it that nothing's been done.
Yeah.
We're looking at February right around the corner, two and a half months before the season starts, and nobody's got a clue.
Yeah.
Nobody's got a clue. And
fair enough. But we're coming up on the banquet, and that actually, while we're talking about that, we talked about the fact that we'll be at Sharkfest 2016 this weekend, and we're going to be recording an episode, and then the following weekend, the following Saturday, we'll be doing an episode from the Black Rock banquet. So next Tuesday, right here at 7:30 p.m. on PMN, you'll hear our Sharkfest 2016 episode. The following Tuesday, you'll hear the 2015 season-ending Black Rock Speedway Awards Banquet episode. We'll have lots of interviews and some good stuff there from the banquet. And who knows, Clint, maybe we'll even have some news about the future of the track at our banquet episode.
Well, I don't know. I some of the rumblings that's out there, it makes you wonder if X happens, will Y be there, and there's just so much stuff that's going around, and you just don't know at this point. And like you said, maybe somebody will shed some light on something. I'm not sure that Dean Hogue is invited to the banquet this weekend, but he shouldn't be. I'll leave it at that.
All right, Clint Miller going out on a limb here as we close in.
It's a really small limb. I mean, let's face it.
Well, I know that there's not only will they be honoring the top 10 in points, they'll also be honoring the sportsmanship award winners for each division. Fortunately, we were able to be a part of that committee, and a nice committee. Track employees, media folks, and a nice list being discussed for sportsmanship awards. Of course, the rookies of the year will be honored as well, and a few other special awards that'll be handed out there, along with the trophies and point fund monies for the top 10 finishers. Of course, hopefully by now you've got your banquet tickets, because if you don't, well, I guess it's too late. So hopefully you got your tickets. And the last time I checked in with Mike Jackson and Kirk from the track, they had roughly 200 guests so far with tickets for the banquet. So I'm looking forward to that, because up at Benton, that'll be a nice crowd.
And it wasn't really pushed big, it wasn't advertised big. It was kind of like, hey, if you want to go, call this number or seek this guy out. So having that kind of a, thing, and you still have sold over 200 tickets is pretty. It's going to be a good turnout.
Yeah, and certainly all of the unknowns around whether the team that operated the track this past season, whether they were even going to be back or not. certainly that played into part of it. And just like we saw last season, Clint, I mean, Mike, if Mike and the management team at the track had decided not to do the banquet, just like last season with Dan Harpel, if either of these guys had not decided to do a banquet, I don't know that anybody could, I think people could understand why. Now, certainly, I'm glad that they've both decided, Dan last year and now Mike this year decided that they are going to hold the banquet because, for the drivers anyway, it's one last chance to get together in the off season and while they're amidst all of the rebuilds and trying to figure out things for next season. So going to be a good party up there in Benton on Saturday, January 30th. Turn 5 Live. We'll be there getting all sorts of interviews and recording our following Tuesday's episode there from the banquet. So looking forward to that. Guys, we'll step aside real quick here. When we come back, we'll go over, we'll recap all the breaking news that we've had over the last couple of days and get Clint and Brad's thoughts on some of that. And then our white flag segment tonight, guys, lightning round comes back. Buy or sell. And this is, I know Brad and Clint's one of their favorite segments, so we're going to have ourselves a good time here as we wrap up this episode of Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What? No!
Yep, and my dorky dad hat, and I'm gonna do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up. See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time. What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
Hi, race fans. This is Kelly Hebing, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
The Little Cobra, bringing us back from commercial break here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network. Stephen and Brad Ovens, Clint Miller joining you here on a Tuesday night, as we always do, right here on PMN. You can catch us every week here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on the Performance Motorsports Network. You can listen to us going right to the website, performancemotorsportsnetwork.com. We're always posting the links up on the Turn 5 Racing Podcast Facebook page as well. And you can also listen on your smartphone. You can download the Performance Motorsports Network app onto your phone like I have. I pull it up on my phone just about every day at work, listening to all of the motorsports coverage here on PMN. You can also listen to AHA Radio and also on the TuneIn app. So a lot of different ways that that you can listen to us here. Now, guys, I was just touch base with Mel Thomas here in the break. We were having a little bit of an audio issue, but talking to him a little bit here in the break, we've got something that he's given us to tease on the show tonight, and guys, this is exciting because ever since we started seeing all of this dirt track coverage on MAV TV, I thought, boy, this is such an opportunity for the dirt tracks in the Northeast to get more exposure to our sport and to our area. And there'll be some more info out here in a couple of weeks. But guys, I from what Mel is talking to me here, it sounds like we could be seeing a little bit of the Weedsport Speedway on MAV TV. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me a bit.
So we'll be certainly staying in touch with Mel and Jimmy and Shannon Phelps, everybody over at Weedsport Speedway. But that could be some exciting stuff there. Seeing some of their events on MAV TV. So we'll stay tuned for that. Guys, let's get back to some of the headlines. We'll kind of recap some things that have happened over the last couple of days. Billy Decker lands with Mike Payne Racing for 2016 on the Super Dirt Car Series. We're going to have some questions around that team in buy or sell, but Billy Decker, full-time with Mike Payne Racing on the Super Dirt Car Series in 2016. Home track to be determined, and it'll be interesting to see where they end up with that. Where they're going to get their home track points from. I think it would be absolutely awesome to see Billy Decker come back to Canandaigua on Saturday nights and add his name to that stout field over there at CMP, but that's yet to be determined. Also, want to send well wishes, thoughts, and prayers out to Rocky Warner, his crew, his family. Rocky having a little bit of a medical emergency this morning. Went in to the hospital and they discovered a aortic aneurysm, which he had surgery on, emergency surgery this afternoon. His family posted on social media that Rocky is out of surgery. The surgery went as well as expected, and the next 12 to 48 hours will be the most important in his recovery. And so we wish Rocky well. We hope to see him back out on the dirt this season. But first and foremost, you got to worry about your health and got to get healthy. And we certainly wish him well on that front. And while we're on that front of sending out well wishes, there's a close member of our family that tunes into us each and every week, and want to send out some good thoughts and prayers out to him as well in his battle with illness. So, guys, we're going to talk a little bit here. We're going to Sharkfest 2016 this weekend, but we've got a whole lot of benefit parties coming up here in the off season, and had a couple of guys reach out to us, and we wanted to give them a little bit of a shout out. Mr. Smooth, Mark Manutlo, going to be having their annual bash out at the Newark VFW, and I'm just pulling up. We had all that news today with Billy Decker today, so we've got. So here it is, Mark Manutlo, February 6th, Newark VFW, 6:30 will be their annual bash. So check those guys out. They of course have Creekside Entertainment as their benefit party entertainment, so you know that you're going to have a good time out there with Creekside and the gang. This year, Mark's looking to run Canandaigua Motorsports Park with high intentions of making trips to some outside places that they've not raced before. And they're also going to chase the Fight Night All-Star Street Stock Series that the Starks are putting on. So that'll be kind of cool to see Mr. Smooth traveling the series there. And, if his runs there, late in the season over at BlackRock are any indication, I think Mr. Smooth's got some pretty good runs ahead of him here. So another one that I wanted to mention too, one of my favorite interviews from Woodhall's banquet, Kenny Peoples Jr., one of the guys that just had a ball talking to us on the show. They've got their People's Motorsports race party coming up February 20th at 5 o'clock at the Addison Eagles Club in Addison, New York. So you can come join the fun with those guys. February 20th, 5 o'clock, $10 a person. Includes food, beverages, and a chance at, looks like they've got some firearms that'll be raffled off, and there'll also be a DJ there as well. So those guys sent some messages in to us. Some other ones that we know of that are coming up. We've got one coming up for CJ Guerry and the gang. They'll be rocking with some Creekside Entertainment as well. Their party coming up on the 28th of February, as well as the Guerry parties coming up in March. You've got Matt, Paul, and Nick Guerry's party on March 5th, followed by the party for Frank Guerry, who is going to be moving up into a crate late model. I believe his party is coming up on the 12th or the 19th of March. So be on the lookout for all the information for those guys for their benefit parties. Just talked to Brady Fultz here earlier this evening. He's got one booked now, going with Stu and the gang at Creekside for their entertainment. He'll be doing that. Looks like, unless there's a schedule change, March 26th. And they typically have theirs at the Dundee American Legion. So set aside that date, and I'm sure Brady will have some announcements out on social media about that as well. So a lot of parties to have fun at. And coming up after this break, guys, we're going to have a little fun ourselves. The return of Buy or Sell coming up here on Turn 5 Live, right here on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
For 17 years, Stock Car Steel has been a leading materials supplier to the racing industry. Now they're also an official motorsports content partner of Race Chaser Online. The biggest names in NASCAR trust Stock Car Steel for all their raw materials, such as carbon steel, chrome moly, DOM, aluminum, plastics, and much, much more. You can't build a race car without the basic materials, and Stock Car Steel is the place to get them. Don't forget to also visit Stock Car Steel's sister company, SRI Supplies, for racing and industry. SRI is your #1 source for all your shop supply needs. Nuts, bolts, rivets, tapes, adhesives, cutting tools, chemicals, body shop supplies, paint shop supplies, lubricants, and more. A well-stocked race shop is a winning race shop, and the road to winning begins with 3 letters, SRI. For more information, visit stockcarsteel.com and SRI-supplies.com. You can also find them on Facebook at Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, or call either company toll-free at 1-888-752-7272.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Hi, race fans. This is Alicia Ruggles, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on PMN, taking the white flag on tonight's episode. Jam-packed episode. Had a lot of guests on with us tonight. Of course, want to thank Tom Baker as well as Dana Allen, Sammy Reakes, Megan Allen, as well as Mel Thomas, all joining us on the program tonight. Want to thank them for their time and joining us and talking a little dirt track racing. But guys, it's time for us to bring back a little segment that we like to call Buy or Sell, as we will roll through some dirt track racing and Northeast dirt topics and discussion points here. You guys will tell us whether you're buying it, whether you agree, or whether you're selling it, whether you disagree with that particular topic. So topic number one tonight, and we'll start with some Chili Bowl flavor. Rico Abreu gets his second Golden Driller. He ties himself with Tony Stewart, who also has two. I feel like he is going to get more, but let's put a number on it, guys. Let's put the magic number at 5. Buy or sell, Clint? Rico Abreu gets to that magic number 5 of Golden Drillers before his career's over.
Although I think it's a pretty good possibility, I'm going to go under 5. Only for the simple fact of they had 316 entrants this year. Anything can happen. I mean, look at what Allgaier did to Slammin' Sammy in one of the B mains, which I got to tell you, just made me smile ear to ear. But both in the qualifying spot, Allgaier spins them out. That can happen at any time. So, with 316 competitors, the odds are not in his favor, though I think he will, but I'm going to go under.
How about you, Brad?
I'm going to go under 5 as well, just for the simple fact that I don't think Rico's going to be back around the midgets. I think he's going to go above and beyond up into NASCAR, and I think he's going to be one of these guys that maybe own a team or co-own a team or help produce drivers, but I don't think he's going to be there to win 5 himself.
Another guy that charged from 22nd to 5th in the Chili Bowl, Kyle Larson. I mean, he's had so many good runs, and boy, the charge from 22nd to 5th was impressive the other night, guys. But, Brad, I'll start with you on this one. Is the Chili Bowl always going to be the race that got away for Kyle Larson, or do you feel like at some point he's got to break through?
I'm sure for a fact that Kyle Larson wants that Golden Driller, and being the fact that he's the dirt guy that he is, I'm sure the Chili Bowl's been one of those races that may be the one that's always gotten away from him. But you stop and take a look at it. He's a kid who went from go-kart racing to sprint car racing to, it seems like in the matter of less than 5 years, went from running the dirt tracks, pounding the dirt, to running the top level of NASCAR and doing quite well at it. So, I think it's a race he's going to want to win, but I don't think he necessarily needs to win it to prove his career.
I think that the Chili Bowl will be his Eleanor. His fabled unicorn, his Shelby GT 500, as Nick Cage calls it. I think that he'll be, if he doesn't ever win it, I think that will be the one that got away from him.
Okay. Yeah, and I definitely agree with Clint, because I don't think he's going to ever stop trying to win it, but I think the Chili Bowl is going to be that one big special race that he's always going to be at, and he's always going to try and win it until he does.
And let's be clear. I mean, we're not taking anything away from the young man's ability, but that's a race where you got to beat 343 other competitors. I mean, that's a tough deal just to make the A main, let alone try and win the thing.
Yeah,
So,
and there you go. I mean, anything can happen because he was well on his way to getting a front row or a front starting spot for Saturday's main, and he got taken out in a qualifier. So, you go from being a top 10 starter, say, to you got to fight your way in through the B main, and then you catch on the back of the field.
another little tidbit of news that came out this week was Chris Generelli, the doctor, Danny Johnson, headed to Fonda on Saturday nights. This, of course, coming after we found out that Ronnie Johnson would be teaming up with Jake Spraker for a big block modified mount at Fonda on Saturday night. So, guys, and we'll start with Clint, I pose this to you. Do you take a Johnson for the championship, or do you take the field?
Oh, I'm taking a Johnson for the championship. No doubt. 2 versus 22 or however many are there. Between Danny and Ronnie got around that place real good. I think he was second or third in points last year, and now teaming up with the likes of Jake Spraker, I think that I think that things are going to be looking up for RJ and Danny's fast wherever he goes.
Yeah, Clint, I definitely agree. I mean, you see what they've done with the Sportsman deal with the Flying Squirrel with Rocky Warner, and obviously Jake Spraker's never put a bad piece together, whether it be a Crate Sportsman or Big Block or anybody's had racing for him. So I think you're right, and there are other people that have beat the doctor, and he's not unbeatable, but I think you'd be kind of silly to really put any big money up against him.
Something else that came out this week, guys, is that Lebanon Valley will bring in the All-Star Circuit of Champions, sponsored by Arctic Cat. That also coming out over the last week or so. New sponsorship for the All-Star Circuit of Champions. So, Brad, I'm sure you love the Arctic Cat sponsorship there for the All-Stars, but they're going to Lebanon Valley, and Lebanon Valley will have the All-Stars instead of the World of Outlaws. Buy or sell?
I'm going to buy it. I think, you take a look at it, and you take a look at everything that it requires to bring the Outlaws in. It's just a lot of money, a lot of sponsor dollars. The track owners, promoters are putting a lot of risk, and I mean a lot of risk on their shoulders. If they flop in the grandstands, that's coming out of their pocket. It's not going to hurt the World of Outlaws because the track's still got to pay the sanctioning fees, the fees to have all the drivers there. They've got to pay the purses. It's a lot of stress to put on them. And I mean, the All-Star Circuit of Champions, they still got to pay I'm sure they've got to pay some sort of a fee when they come to have them. They've got to pay the purse, but you still get the great racing. I think back to when the All-Stars were at Canandaigua this past year. A lot of bigger names, the Hodden Shield name. You got a lot of big guys that run the All-Star Circuit Series, and it's, I think it's a win for itself just for the fact of, the guy behind it, running it and promoting it. I mean, it just seems like, in a couple of years now, we'll be seeing him around everywhere, and I think it's a big win.
Yeah, I agree, and I only agree for this one thing. When the Outlaws were going to Lebanon Valley, it was kind of where it fell in the schedule, and obviously that can be reworked, but where it fell in the schedule was a big travel, from Williams Grove. I think last year they went Williams Grove up to Lebanon Valley, and then I think they crossed to Canada. That's a lot of motion in a couple days, and you'd only get the 12 or 13 full-time outlaw guys, and then you throw in 5 or 6 360 guys, maybe couple 360 guys with a 410, but you're only getting 19 cars. I think was the last time I went, and It just, the place was packed, but, you only had, 3 or 4 guys that were going to win, which, last year was pretty much anywhere you went. But I just think that the All-Stars seem to bring more cars, and, they're more from this area. And so I think that I think it's a win for Lebanon Valley.
And I liked your perspective, Clint, because I know you've been out there for the Outlaw Show several times at the Valley.
Yeah, I have. I think last year was the first year I missed in 3 years, and it's just such a long haul. It's 4 hours, 5 hours away from us, and and then you're coming up from Williams Grove 2 or 3 days before that. It's just it's way out of the way for these Outlaw guys.
Next topic here. Just announced, the word getting out today that the Billy Decker and Mike Payne Racing teaming up. But interestingly enough, I've seen some people even already saying, these guys haven't even been out on the racetrack yet. And some people are questioning, Clint, whether this pairing is going to last the entire season. That boggles my mind. With a guy like Billy Decker, I can't see this not going an entire season, but buy or sell Billy Decker for the entire year behind the wheel of the MPR 91.
Oh, I'm buying it. With the factory back, there'll be some sort of factory backing from McNell, and Billy Decker, you just don't take out of a seat mid-season. You just don't. That's bad for business. Mike Payne had good drivers, not great drivers. Drivers that obviously, for whatever reason, just didn't work out. I think Billy Decker is a level-headed guy, and I think he could probably pretty much work with anybody, and the guy knows his stuff. So I'm gonna say that he's gonna make it all year, and we might be seeing something along the line of 2 or 3 years until Billy calls it quits.
Yeah, I agree with you, Clint, and the reason I think I agree with you to say that he will last the whole year is, some of the guys that Mike Payne has had drive for him. We think of some of the names, they're not to say it in a negative way, but they're synonymous for being known as drivers who bounce from team to team, or they seem to have a struggle maintaining with one team. But, I think this is kind of one of those deals that, I really don't know what to say other than the fact that, if it's going to work, it's going to work. Billy Decker, they're going to go run the full Super Dirt Car Series, and obviously Billy's a guy who knows how to get around the track and knows what he's doing in the series as a past champion. So I think it's a good move. It could be a good pairing, and who knows, it could be one of those ones that could surprise us that nobody thought would ever work.
No doubt about it, guys. Good stuff tonight on Buy or Sell. Guys, pack the snow pants, get the four-wheel drive ready. We're ready to go to Sharkfest this weekend. I can't wait.
Woo!
So
absolutely, man.
Next Tuesday night will be our Sharkfest 2016 episode. Want to thank all of our guests for joining us tonight. Want to thank you, the race fans, for joining us here on Turn 5 Live, right here on the Performance Motorsports Network. We'll see you next Tuesday night from Sharkfest.
Turn 5 Live is a copyrighted production of the Performance Motorsports Network. PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com is a member of the Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written permission of PMN. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, co-host, and guest, and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either the Performance Motorsports Network or Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated, the advertisers, or marketing partners. Thank you for listening to Turn 5 Live. You can listen to Turn 5 Live every Tuesday night right here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Stay tuned for more great PMN programming.